A few weeks ago we touched on the draconian tax penalties that can be incurred if you breach your superannuation contribution limits. We've had a number of requests to explain that in more detail, and Sydney-based financial planner Claire Mackay was happy to oblige. Claire, let's start at the beginning. There's an upper limit to what you can put into superannuation from pre-tax dollars and from after-tax dollars. What are those limits?
So out of pre-tax money, or concessional contributions, you can make up to $25,000 each year, and if you're age 60 and over, you can put in $35,000 a year. Out of post-tax money or non-concessional contributions, you can make a contribution of up to $150,000 each year, and for those aged under 64, you can use the bring forward rule, which means $450,000 over a 3-year period.
Now, the superannuation guarantee contribution, or compulsory super as we all know it, is now 9.25%, and that counts towards those contribution caps, doesn't it?
Yes, so the compulsory super goes into the concessional contribution, so up to your $25,000 limit.
Now, we hear stories of tens of thousands of people who get caught by the tax office breaching their contribution caps, and some of them get tax penalties of up to 93%. How does that work?
So what happens is, if you put in more than $25,000 or $35,000 if you're older, that excess automatically flows into your non-concessional cap. You also get taxed on the excess, and so then if you subsequently also breach your non-concessional cap, so that $150,000 or the $450 over 3 years, then that excess effectively gets taxed at 93%.
And I'm hearing stories of people making innocent mistakes. I spoke to one man who said he just hit a wrong key as he was lodging his tax return. It meant an incorrect amount went to the tax office, and he still had to pay a huge penalty. Are you hearing stories like that?
It is possible. The law is strict liability, so regardless of whether it was an honest mistake or a transposition error, under the old laws, it meant that you paid the tax there was no discretion for the ATO to recognise that there were understandable circumstances.
So an innocent mistake can lead to a big penalty, and of course that has a big impact on your retirement income.
Absolutely, absolutely. What they've now done is introduced a regime whereby you can ask for a refund of excess contributions. So if you accidentally put in more than your $25,000 limit, you can get a refund, and that goes into your tax return. So that will hopefully help people not breach those rules and subsequently not breach their non-concessional caps. But it's very important to be aware of these caps when making contributions to super.
So what can you do to protect yourself from getting caught up in this?
Well, the key thing is understanding and planning your super contributions, particularly for clients who run their own businesses. So they're doing it June 30 year end, and there's a lot of things happening, and they put some money into super and may have forgotten what they did last year or the year before. It's really important to be aware of your contribution caps over the last 3 years and plan out your contributions for the next few years, because the key thing is that there are great opportunities to optimise and maximise your super if you're aware of it, and planning helps in that case.
So it's not set and forget?
Absolutely not.
All right, Claire Mackay, thank you very much for those thoughts.
Pleasure, Andrew.